I should tell Shawan vibrations, every bucka. May your mind, bucka, and souls be old. May your omens be sound. May your buckas be leavened off the ground. When we keep to the breath, the orth, the moth, or the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you old. I am Matata Ela Ise El Say I. Amen Ra, Christ or a chaplain. I am truth awareness, true talk. Can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma'elth. That's intelligence, Amenology, Ta'angodu. This is sound logic. And with all that being said, being a fool is absolutely your choice. To Ray is Ray 1820. Go to Google, go to Apple, download the Mathorian Kagadora app. You can also go to jesus.com, sign up, get your initiation package, the iBucket to Omen. That replaces your prayer. And you also get access to the digital file of the PDF Kagadora. You can print it on your desktop, or you can take it to your local printer near you, or you can order it from the website online. You can go to omenra.com. That's OMENRA.com. And you can get access to the poster. Also, we have apparel. And we have the books. So you can wear What the Devil Fear. All right. I don't consent to draconian state, nor should you. Hashtag that in your post. Thought is the spore that spawns intelligence. Then a fungi.org. Don't forget the erectionary.com. You get access to that too. We're building the decoding search engine because the dictionary's words die your erection. And of course, Ta'angodu, we speak emotion. Come learn how to speak soundly. All right. So, the lesson that we're having today is white and black. We're decoding these things. Why are we decoding white and black? Well, if you download the book, 99% of NIGO ores are clones, you'll realize that we are in a code loop. Okay, these are command codes. All right, and that's what we have to recognize and realize, that all words, okay, usurp sound, usurp, thought. Because now you have to think for those dead things, and you're programmed what they are to represent. So it's taking your thinking away, and you're now just selecting and organizing and going along. And that's how a computer operates. It doesn't really think, it just executes commands. Okay, and every word that we use is a command prompt. Okay, every letter, every number is a symbol. Every sign is a symbol. So all of these things require our eyesight. They do not require, and in fact, most of the time, especially now when we are learning through optical programming, we're not even allowed to go to our intuition. We are programmed to go to Google. Okay, or now it's AI for our information. Okay, so what sound logic does, just by interacting with me, you are forced to use your senses. You cannot look at anything that I'm producing and make sense of it. Right? You might be able to look and say, identify each letter. Okay, but you're not wired to communicate the way that I'm asking you to communicate, number one. So even whether you like it or not, the tremendous amount of things that sound logic and my works are doing to calibrate the ethers is unmistakable that I am the sound Messiah. Okay, unmistakable. Okay, because there's no way I or anybody else would be able to, whatever term you want to use, conjure up this shit without it, without that being said. So, okay, so appreciate the seeds of sound that I am sowing. We're dealing with a lot of racism. So as I alluded to my book, 99% NIGO ores are clones. the erasure of racism. The sound erasure of racism is the subtitle. Okay, so even if we're studying racism, once we recognize and realize that racism is raw, okay, number one, say, and then you have ism. That means I say man. Okay, ism is like an authority. Okay, an authority to do whatever you're doing, but it's a like to an authority. Okay, so once we recognize that racism is really about raw, everything being centered around and by the what you call a sun, okay, and it's about what you know as the children of the sun, okay, that's what racism is. So you can see if AI was a plan, which it always was, that racism, wouldn't work for AI because everything would be about Mother Nature, right? That's what racism is stewardship, right? That's what racism is, okay? And so when we recognize that, Ra is the source of intelligence, then we can recognize that the force of disagreement that's operated by what we call the draconians can only try to counter that charge. Okay, and so again, all words we use are the apple in the Garden of Eden because that was the application that the devil said that they surely wouldn't die. Okay, and so if you think die is like disappear, then you could be fooled. But if you had sound logic, you would know die means disconnected from the eye. Okay? And so the serpent promised that they wouldn't die, meaning being disconnected from the eye, because they were being connected to another eye. Okay? They were building something that wasn't sound. Okay? And because they were unsound, they couldn't be in nature. That's what the Garden of Eden represented. Nothing more, nothing less. It represented Mother Nature. Okay, they showed you they came from Mother Nature. They left the garden. So they left being in the hands of Mother Nature. Now they had to create for self. All right? So we also have to recognize that the God of the Bible, I believe, is stated to have come from a void. Okay, they say formless and shapeless. Okay, I already did a video on this stating that that's proof that their God, is it's not real. Okay, it's not even a thought. It has become a thought because we're forced to think about it. Okay, but it is only the parasite because what it is void of is sound. Okay, that's what the abyss is. Okay, it means absent of se ta, which means absent of thought. And if you don't have a thought, then you can't have a say. If you're not thinking, then you can't have a say. If you're not a thinking being, then can't have a say. And that's what a soul is. It's a thinking being. Okay? And so now that we recognize coming to believe that we were created by a God that's in a void, that the apple was the virus program, and that God is the word, as in the book of John, then we can accept what white is and what white means. Okay? If we refer to the Black's Dictionary, they're going to say, white is basically has the privilege. Okay? They're going to say, like white would be the upper class, right? And so at best you'll have presenters or people coming out and saying, well, really the people that are called black are really classified white. And they'll show you that in Africa, you know, when they have their passports, at least the ones that they present in the United States, which should be the same ones that they would use all over the world, they're classified as white. Okay, I'm not certain about the Caucasian, I just know white. Okay, and so we got to recognize and realize that white means void of sound. Okay, that's what white means. Okay, void of sound. I'm trying to do this thing handless because I'm trying to practice for when I do lives. So I'm trying to get the setup used to here. So I'm not too sure if you can see that.